So you have a computer, a smartphone, or maybe a tablet. You turn it on, and a screen lights up, showing you icons and menus. That entire experience, the very thing that lets you interact with the cold, hard electronics inside your device, is made possible by the operating system, or OS for short. Think of it as the ultimate manager or the conductor of an orchestra. Your device's hardware, the processor, the memory, the screen, are the musicians. They are all incredibly powerful, but without a conductor telling them what to do and when, all you would have is noise and chaos. The OS is that conductor, making sure every part works together in perfect harmony. Imagine trying to speak directly to your phone's processor. It doesn't understand English or any human language, it only understands complex electronic signals. This is where the operating system steps in. It acts as a translator, a bridge between you and the hardware. When you tap an app icon, you're not directly telling the processor to run the program. Instead, you're telling the OS, and the OS then translates your simple command into a language the processor can understand. It manages all the complicated background tasks, so you can focus on what you want to do, whether that's sending a message, watching a video, or playing a game. The operating system is the first piece of software that loads when you power on your device, and it's the last one to shut down. It provides the foundational layer upon which all other applications are built. Without an OS, your favorite apps like Instagram, Spotify, or Microsoft Word wouldn't have a platform to run on. They wouldn't know how to access the camera, play sound through the speakers, or save a document to the storage drive. The OS provides a consistent and predictable environment for developers to create software that works reliably across millions of different devices. It's the invisible foundation for your entire digital life. Essentially, the operating system is the soul of your machine. It gives your device its personality, its look and feel, and its core functionality. It's the reason a Mac feels different from a Windows PC, and an iPhone feels different from an Android phone, even if they have similar internal components. The OS is in charge of everything from the wallpaper you set on your home screen to the complex memory management that happens when you have 10 different apps open at once. It's the silent, hard-working hero that makes modern technology possible, and more importantly, accessible to everyone. When it comes to operating systems, you've definitely heard of the biggest names in the game, even if you didn't think of them that way. For desktop and laptop computers, the world is largely dominated by three major players. First, there's Microsoft Windows. It's the most popular desktop OS on the planet, running on a massive variety of hardware from different manufacturers like Dell, HP, and Lenovo. It's known for its wide compatibility with software and hardware, making it a go-to choice for gaming, business, and general productivity. Its familiar start menu and taskbar have been staples of personal computing for decades. Next up is Apple's macOS. This operating system runs exclusively on Apple's own hardware like the MacBook, iMac, and Mac Pro. macOS is widely praised for its clean, user-friendly design, strong security features, and seamless integration with other Apple products like the iPhone and iPad. It has become a favorite among creative professionals in fields like graphic design, video editing, and music production. Its ecosystem is a huge selling point. If you own multiple Apple devices, the way they work together is incredibly smooth, all thanks to the underlying OS. Then we have Linux. Unlike Windows and macOS, Linux isn't a single product from one company. It's an open-source operating system, which means its code is free for anyone to view, modify, and distribute. This has led to the creation of hundreds of different versions called distributions or distros, like Ubuntu, Mint, and Fedora. While it has a smaller market share on desktops, Linux powers a huge portion of the internet's servers, supercomputers, and smart devices. It's known for its stability, security, and flexibility, making it a favorite for developers and tech enthusiasts who love to customize their systems. On the mobile front, the landscape is a two-horse race. The first is Google's Android. Similar to Linux, Android is open source, which is why you see it on phones and tablets from a vast range of manufacturers like Samsung, Google, and OnePlus. This openness allows for a huge variety of devices at different price points, each with its own unique twist on the Android experience. The second major player is Apple's iOS, which is the operating system that powers the iPhone. Just like macOS, iOS is exclusive to Apple's hardware and is known for its simplicity, performance, and a very secure and curated app store. So, what does an operating system actually do all day? One of its most fundamental jobs is managing files and folders. Think about all the photos, documents, videos, and music you have on your device. The OS is responsible for keeping all of that organized. When you save a new photo, the OS figures out where to physically store it on the hard drive or flash storage. When you want to find it later, the OS remembers its location and presents it to you in a neat folder structure. Creating a folder, renaming a file, or dragging a document to the trash, these are all simple actions you perform, but it's the OS doing the heavy lifting behind the scenes. Another critical function is managing and running programs, or what we call applications. When you double-click an icon on your computer or tap an app on your phone, you are asking the OS to launch that program. The operating system allocates the necessary resources, like a portion of the computer's processing power, CPU, and memory, RAM, so the application can run smoothly. If you open multiple apps at once, like a web browser, a music player, and a word processor, the OS becomes a master multitasker. It juggles these resources, ensuring each program gets a fair share and that they don't interfere with one another, preventing your system from crashing. Security is also a massive responsibility for any modern operating system. In a world full of viruses, malware, and other digital threats, the OS acts as your device's primary line of defense. It manages user accounts and permissions, making sure that one user can't access another user's private files on a shared computer. It also controls how applications can access your hardware and data. For example, when an app wants to use your camera or access your contacts, the OS steps in and asks for your permission first. This gatekeeper role is crucial for protecting your privacy and keeping your personal information safe from malicious software. Finally, the operating system manages all the hardware connected to your device. This includes both internal components like the processor and external peripherals like a printer, keyboard, or mouse. The OS uses special software called drivers to communicate with each piece of hardware. When you plug a new mouse into your USB port, the OS detects it, loads the correct driver, and makes it work seamlessly. You don't have to worry about the technical details of how the mouse sends its position to the screen. The OS handles that entire translation process, making technology feel like it just works. The beauty of a modern operating system is how it adapts to the device it's on, creating a tailored experience. On a desktop PC with a large monitor, mouse, and keyboard, an OS like Windows or macOS is designed for productivity and multitasking. They feature windows you can resize and drag around, detailed file explorers, and powerful right-click menus. The entire interface is built around precise pointer-based navigation. These operating systems are optimized to handle heavy-duty tasks like video editing, complex spreadsheets, and high-end gaming, taking full advantage of the powerful hardware and larger screen real estate available on a personal computer. Now take that same core concept and apply it to a smartphone. An OS like Android or iOS has a completely different mission. The interface is redesigned from the ground up for a small touchscreen that you interact with using your fingers. Large, tappable icons replace small cursors, and gestures like swiping and pinching become the primary way to navigate. The OS is also optimized for battery life and constant connectivity, managing cellular and Wi-Fi radios efficiently. It prioritizes notifications and quick access to apps like the camera and phone, because that's what you need most from a device you carry in your pocket. Tablets sit somewhere in the middle, and their operating systems like iPadOS or tablet versions of Android reflect that hybrid nature. They blend the portability and touch-first interface of a phone with some of the productivity features of a desktop. For instance, iPadOS offers robust multitasking features, allowing you to run apps side by side in split-screen mode, and it supports peripherals like the Apple Pencil and external keyboards. This turns the tablet from just a content consumption device into a capable tool for drawing, writing, and light work, showing how an OS can be flexible enough to define the purpose of a device. So why should you care about any of this? Because understanding the basics of your operating system empowers you as a user. It helps you make better decisions when buying a new device, as you'll know the difference between what an iPhone or an Android phone offers. It helps you troubleshoot common problems, because you'll have a general idea of whether an issue is with the hardware, a specific app, or the OS itself. In a world where we rely on these devices for nearly everything, knowing what makes them tick is no longer just for tech geeks. It's fundamental digital literacy that helps you get the most out of the technology you use every single day.